Before we begin, thank you very much to Breaking Your Nico Kneecaps for joining the Patreon campaign. You're one Nico too many for the meme, but I do appreciate the pull. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you everyone for the support. As always, you are the reason I am allowed to keep doing this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get actual work, and no one wants that. What am I talking about? I have actual work. It's terrifying. So, it's a quiet news week, right? We don't have a whole lot going on the news front because Pulsecon is on the way. Pretty much holding everything back until then, and we're gonna have a big whole balloon to talk about then. It is so much to talk about after Pulsecon that I'm using phrases like hullabaloo, which no one has used since 1963. But here we are, and we're going to be talking about today's news. And while there is very little news this week, we are starting off with a big one because someone leaked animated Bumblebee from the next Legacy line. And we've had some interesting discourse over this one. Okay, so hot take out of the way, animated characters are really hard to do in generation style. It's very hard to make them blocky and still make them feel like them. This feels like a Bumblebee cosplaying as animated Bumblebee. The head is there and it's mostly right, but they added to it. I don't know why the forehead crest is so big. Obviously, he's lost a lot of the roundness because they're going to have to remold it or repaint it into somebody. So it's got to be a little bit reusable. I'm looking at it here and like there's the right design elements are intact, but of course it doesn't look right. The big thing, like for me, the big thing is the hips, because the hips look super weird how small they are. It's kind of like with his thighs floating so far from the pelvis. But the one thing that everyone's brought up is he has a really weird shoulder assembly. You can see where one stem of the shoulder, which is apparently responsible for the outward rocking, is toward the back of the kibble, and the bicep is mounted below. So there's this weird floaty gap. And I hate when they do this. It's very rare when they do this, but I hate when they do this. It always feels super awkward to use. It never looks good. However, we're gonna talk about that here in a bit. Let's talk about the rest of it. Not too much on the back kibble, so it all folds up fairly nicely. I mean, it's nowhere near as clean as the original one was, but then again, few things can match the engineering majesty that was Transformers Animated. He can still cross his arms to do the stinger thing, so he's got that intact. And then you have here we got the vehicle mode. And the vehicle mode's actually pretty close. It's actually pretty spot on to the animation model. Now, I don't like what apparently are either... I was going to say I don't like the hinges that are now exposed underneath the rear view mirrors, but they don't look like real hinges. They look too big, so it makes me think they're new added like elements, which seems really weird. I really want a better close-up to see if that's exactly if it's just part of the engineering, because I see them on the legs. It doesn't look like they do anything. I don't know. It's hard to tell if I take a look back at the other one. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's just a really big hinge sticking out. That's weird. All right, so everyone makes this big says, oh yeah, he still comes with both of his booster rockets too. So it's cool that they have those. Again, it's cool they can still be used the same way. So he does all the stuff that the original one did. Let's take a look at this photo that also leaked out. And here we can see the shoulders are in a different assembly. Not only do they look more solid in the front, but the black sections have been raised up. The two joints are now parallel to each other. And he looks a lot better. This makes it look a lot better. Again, it's weird to see an animated toy designed this way, but I don't hate it, especially when I see it like this, and it seems like it looks much nicer. Yes, he has big clear plastic hinges that freak me out, but beyond that, he's not looking too bad. I think it could have come out a lot worse. Now, remember, one of the rumor mills, one of the leaked listings is that we're also going to be seeing a animated Optimus Prime. We'll see how that turns out. Remember, no matter how that turns out, it won't have the weird, like, spinny leg automorph thing that barely worked. So this is going to be an interesting upgrade, at least in that facet. So, okay. have the opinions you want. This Bumblebee is very odd, but it is an animated Bumblebee, and the thing is, it's worth existing, if only because it might be the only reason we ever get a Wasp toy. Alright, as I mentioned, Pulsecon is pretty much going to be dominating the news cycle, and that's pretty much where everything's being held back for. So, yeah, a lot of Transformer stuff is being kept very close to the chest right now, aside from, things that leak. It's not even the only leak right now, but there's only so many I will comment on right now. But we do know that Pulsecon is happening on the 22nd. It's got a ton of stuff, including a lot of Transformers. There's going to be another, they're going to drop some Transformer comic book news as well, which we'll get into in a bit. To go along with the announcement and the promotional trailer, they also did reconfirm that Hotshot is going to be a Pulsecon exclusive. It's going to go up for sale sometime on the 22nd. If you're, obviously, if you're a Pulse Premium member, you get early access, but everyone else has to wait. And they just sent along some, super high-quality images. We've seen these before, but it's nice to see again as a refresher. I'd really like to know the price point. I didn't see the price point attached to this, because the Minicon adds a bit, but then we got these giant rockets and the effect part, so it feels like they're trying to bump it up to, I was going to say a $30 package, but I'm guessing they're going to shoot this for higher to, $35 or even $40. But no, up seeing him, in higher def, Jolt looks really nice. He's got the cartoon orange, which is kind of splitting the difference between the red and yellow ones that came out, so it can kind of work with either of your Hotshots if you have both of them. And yeah, I'm probably getting it, because I'm doomed to buy every Hotshot, right? At least this one's okay as a toy. He still deserves a better one, but as a toy, it's okay. And it's Hot Rod colors, so, it's better. Still waiting on you, Thrust. Still waiting to find out if you're actually happening. I still think you're using the wrong mold, but you do you. We got a lot of stuff coming out from Rise of the Beast now that the movie's completely done. A lot of artists are dropping a whole lot of their proposals as far as what designs to use and how to redo them. And it's sporadic. It's kind of like a lot of what you'd expect. It's like, here's what Cheetor looked like. Okay, fine, thank you. It's good to get a good, look at it. And then there's the crazy stuff that people dropped. So, yeah, Shane Baxley here decided, let's just redo Rampage. Let's just straight up do Transmetal Rampage in live action style. And it looks absolutely demonic and wicked, and I want it. I don't think you could have gotten anyone to take a giant king crab seriously in, live action. But it's here, just in case. Would have been cool if we got designs that were this close to how they looked in Beast Wars, but, movies, the live action movies are going to do what they do, Michael Bay or not, so there's that. Is there anything else fun in any of this? There's a lot of shots of, scenes that we got, so that's a thing. We've got shots like this, which I swear are AI generated. I don't know, I'm not to take away from the artist, but that don't look exactly authentic, I'm just saying. We got looks at Decepticons that didn't come out. This is Bloodhound. And they showed a few different face designs for what Bloodhound was supposed to look like. And beyond that, I think the best takeaway is what they almost did with Rhinox. Rhinox almost had a weaponizer murder mode. I think I fought this in D&D once. Yeah, so there's some really fun stuff in there. I mean, there's boring stuff like this. It's just Cheetor. It's just movie Cheetor. But it's a great way to get some actual looks at what these characters were either intended to look like at one point or what they look like now without all of the haze and the murkiness that comes with being in a live-action movie. Also, the concept art, yeah, it did show Primal with a mouth. So that was a thing. That's why all the toys had it, because they thought he was going to have a mouth. He did not. Ah, well, c'est la vie. Alright, so what's coming up next? So we talked about, I mentioned briefly the comic books. So they showed off some incentive covers that they are releasing that are all connected. The first 6 issues have a connected cover, so you expect them to all be a 6-part story to kick off this new Transformers universe. Prime, obviously, the front of the first cover. The second, we got a nice little splatter of RC and Cliffjumper. Number 3, This is really weirdly chopped. I don't know why it's chopped this way. Issue 3's got Wheeljack, and it starts showing a bit of Starscream and the human cast, who are taking up heavy weaponry. Okay, fair enough. Haven't seen a human cast get that into the combat in a while, but okay. Alright, number 4 is giving us the cassette bots. 5 is Soundwave and Frenzy. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened there. I just lost control. And then the 6th issue is Skywarp, who looks like Grandpa Skywarp with the way they are drawn. I'm not sure why. But the point being, it's going to be one huge, sprawling cover once you have all 6 issues, which is kind of a cool thing to do. It's going to be a nice little incentive for people to have. I have good luck finding a way of displaying the entire 6 on your wall. It's going to take up a lot of room. But no, it's neat. It's neat when they do things like this. So we get a little bit of incentive to pick up the special covers. Moving on. All right, so our friends over at the Sunbow Marvel Archive have once again thrown up something new for us, and these are the early storyboards for the Transformers 1986 movie, which is always fascinating to show off a bunch of things about how the movie was supposed to go and what they were originally conceiving for it. I love this like early design for the Matrix, where it just kind of looks like a bird cage with a crystal in the middle. I kind of feel like there's a few error shots in like Five Faces of Darkness where it still kind of looks like that. This is kind of amusing to me. Yeah, we see like some of the events and how things were supposed to go. How they were supposed to go. Here's Brawn's original death, where he would have been torn completely in half by the shots from Megatron. That's a little brutal. Like, we thought the deaths were kind of brutal in that movie. You know, especially like Prowl, like burning out from the inside out. He didn't get blasted in half though with Robot Visceral. So they toned it down. Originally, Brawn wasn't supposed to just die to a shoulder wound. No. He was going to be very, very dead. Obviously, they toned back the carnage. You know, we have events that are going on, trying to keep some semblance of like where characters are supposed to be. There's Hound and Grapple. Very rare time to see the two together. Let's see. Yep, we got Dirge, we got Skywarp, Cup and Hot Rod racing toward the city. RC staring and watching him coming in. Here was the intended death of Mirage. Megatron was supposed to shoot him down while he was hopping between windows. We saw Blur using these windows to great effect. Didn't quite work as well for Mirage. So, that's another one. At some point, I'm going to do a video to show, to kind of go over everyone who was supposedly died in the 86 movie, whether it was on screen or not, because it's actually, the body count's actually a lot higher than the movie lets on. So yeah, things like this are fascinating, and this is just a few stills. The whole thing is over at the Marvel Archive, so go check it out. I mean, it's a really cool look at Transformer history, and you get to find out a few things you probably didn't before. Let's do a little bit more of the concept art that came out for Rise of the Beast, and these are very distinct and different, so I wanted to kind of separate them out a little. Waspinator. There was actually a design concept for a Waspinator in this movie, which is kind of insane. And he looks insane, too. It kind of has like a Starscream-esque head, but with multiple eyes. He's very gangly. He's got the bug wings in the back, obviously, but they've also just kind of embraced the insect part. He's 6-armed. This would have been hilarious if he was like the bug they used for the crowd shot instead of Scorponok, and it's just a whole bunch of Waspinators getting blown up. Like, there'd be a fan edit on YouTube right now of that scene where every single one of them, where every single time a Waspinator dies, it is replaced, or it is not a, the sound effect is replaced or overdubbed with one of Scott's weird like little Waspinatorisms. That would have been hilarious. I hate that we don't have that in reality. Spitor was considered. Okay, Spitor is this kind of weird frog tank looking thing. You can see the treads on the back. I assume those are treads. I guess he's still just a frog. So I don't know what they are. maybe giant eyes. I thought the eyes were like down here where his nipples are, but no, apparently that might actually just be the eye on the back. Ram horn, which is a really interesting pull because there's no indication of doing like Tripredicus. So it's a super creepy design. It is a super creepy design. And then a different take on Spitor. Okay, the eyes are where I expect them to be now. He looks a lot more sinister, a lot more serious. So this is unfortunate. I still wish Predacons were a better representation in the live-action movie. It seems weird that we were just fighting not even Decepticons or Predacons. We had two factions to pick from, and we made up a third. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. So just before Pulsecon, Hasbro went and did something weird. They dropped a random reissue of Fortress Maximus, which is odd because of all the Titans, this is the one that needs redoing the most. I don't know why you would redo Fort Max when this is a terrible figure, in my opinion. That base mode looks nothing like his original base mode. It does, like, the legs do absolutely no transforming whatsoever. It just looks kind of sad. Also, it's a weird thing to reissue when the whole toy is pretty much designed for a, well, I guess not. I was gonna say when it's designed for like smaller figures that we don't have, but we got core class. We just don't have many G1 core classes that would make sense to be on Fortress Maximus. You know, I don't see him doing a team of core class headmasters anytime soon. But, you know, it's, you know, for the people who missed out on it, yes, it is available. And as a cheap plug, I'll remind you that in my link in the description, you'll find a link to Entertainment Earth, where if you pre-order your Fortress Maximus through them, it will help out the channel a lot, and I appreciate everyone for using that link to buy your toys. If you are using, or if you are buying toys that are currently in stock, that link will also save you 10% on the order, and it should apply any free shipping discount going on at the time. Should. I haven't checked in a while, but that's what the link gets you, and I appreciate everyone using it. If you use it to buy big things like this, oh, it helps me out a lot. So thank you very much for doing so. All right, so cheap plug out of the way. Let's get a couple of weird ones to finish off. So there's a lobby card done as artwork for the '86 movie, and it looks really, really nice. It's a very, like, different approach, because normally, like, this would be panned farther to the left, and you'd see Hound and Sunstreaker. Hound, who was supposed to be on Earth, as we saw in the storyboards, but he was actually getting off the ship with Sunstreaker. So it would have been fun to see. Them here, but it's a very different atmosphere when you pan to the right, and it's just the flat, like, surface of Autobot City. It's a really, like, there's something, like, more, like, stoic and ominous about this. Like, you really get the sensation that Prime is about to go into this war and win it all by himself. That's Optimus Prime, really. So this is a really cool shot. I don't know if it's anything I would actually grab, but it is exceptionally well done, and it looks really, really cool. Matt Ferguson is the artist. It is a limited edition poster. The online release is started on Friday. So, only 186 prints, too, at $25 a pop. I don't really know if I want to import a poster, cool as that looks, though. I don't have space for posters. Look at this place. And to finish it off, if you're looking to do some trunk-or-treating this upcoming Halloween, you can do it Transformer style, as these are now available. These gigantic stickers that you can use to decorate the backside of your vehicle, as well, you know, big Autobot banner. We have the Autobot logo that you can put on the back seat and all that. It's just, you know, fun little Halloween-y stuff. Just if you want to, like, decorate your car, you know, robots in disguise style. It's not movie style. It's all evergreen. So it's Optimus and Bumblebee. So you're getting your candy from two trustworthy robots. And that is going to do it for the news roundup. With the intro and outro, it's probably still 20 minutes, even though this is a very light news week. But it doesn't matter, because, you know, come Friday, we've got Pulsecon to talk about, and that's going to be a whole lot of news. So for now, thank you everyone for watching and supporting the channel. You all mean the world to me for doing so. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fighting at him.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this. That
All right,
burn.
you seem to have this. 5 minutes.